In this video, we are going to see how to do manual testing. So what are the various parameters we are going to use? So with the general template, we will see the example. Okay. So first we will see the what are the parameters we are going to use it for manual testing. So first parameter will be test case ID. So that will be the first parameter, and the second parameter is test scenario. Okay, so test case ID. So sequentially we are going to start with 1. Likewise it will get generated 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So before that number we will have some keyword. For example, if we are going to test Gmail login page means GM01, that will be the test case ID. So likewise we are going to generate test case ID for each and every test cases. Next, text scenario. So what functionality we are going to test within one single application or a project. For example, if we are going to test login functionality means so that we are going to consider it as a test scenario. Okay, and the third parameter, test case description. So in test case description, we are going to describe what we are going to test, like it's a positive testing or it's a negative testing. We are going to test with a right data, or we are going to test with a wrong data. So that thing we are going to describe here. So that is a test case description. Next, test input. So what input we are going to provide to perform testing. So that we are going to give it in this particular column. Next, test steps. So what are the steps we are going to follow to test that particular scenario? For example, if we want to test a login page means first we have to enter into that site, then we have to enter our username, then we have to enter our password, then only we will click on that submit button. So these are all the steps we need to proceed. Okay. Next, expected output. So after performing testing, we have to check with our expected output. We have to check with our expected output. Next, actual output. So expected output means what we are expecting for that particular input. Actual output, what you got from your input, for the given input. Okay. So next we will compare these two, expected output and actual output. So based on that we will write our result. So our result will be pass or fail. That will be our result. Okay. Next, priority. So this particular test case ID, we have to fix priority. If it is a fail, in the case of fail, we have to set priority, whether it is in higher priority or lower priority, like that we have to fix our priority. Next parameter, reviewed by. So who reviewed this particular test case? It may be a team leader or a manager, like that, and raised on. So when this particular test happened. So these are all the parameters we are using for manual testing. Okay. So next we are going to enter the value. So now our scenario, we are going to test Gmail login page. Okay. So that is our scenario we are going to use in this case. So for that I am going to generate my first ID, test case ID, that is Gmail. GM indicates Gmail, Gmail01. So this will be our first test case ID. Okay. So I will make it enlarge for good visibility. Okay. Right. Next, test scenario. So we are going to test the login functionality. So this is our scenario for that particular test case ID. Okay. Next, description. So here we are going to describe what we are going to test. It is a positive testing or negative testing. So here I am going to describe to check login page with valid username and password. Okay. Next, test input. So what input we are going to provide? So username, for example, vivek@gmail.com. Next, password like 1234 5, for example. Okay. So my password character. So this is the input we are going to provide for testing. Next, test steps. So we have to provide what are the steps we have to follow to perform the testing. So first, go to Gmail. Next, enter username. Next, enter password. Next, click on submit. So these are all the steps we need to follow to perform this testing. Okay. Next, so after performing this all thing, we have to consider our expected output. So we are going to test our login page with valid username and password. So if we are using valid username and password, means what will be our expected output? It will be a proper login. That means redirect to home page, right? So this will be our expected output, right? So actual output. So what output we got after entering these all details, input test. Okay, right. So here we gave these input vivek@gmail.com and the password characters. So after that, I got it as a login failed, like this message. Okay, right. So this is our actual output. Okay, so now we have to compare our expected output and actual output. So we are comparing. So our expected is we have to get a pass, right? But in our actual, our login got failed. So our result is fail. Okay, so priority. So it's a fail test case. So we have to set high priority for this particular test case. Okay, so in actual test cases, they will use various colors like this. Okay, right. So fail also it will be like this. Okay, and reviewed. So who reviewed this? So it may be team leader or manager. Okay, and raised on. So we identified these fail test cases, and it is raised on when. So it's a date like this. Okay. So this is the sample test case we have. Okay. So if it is a so same test case, we are going to check it again. Okay. Right. So same test case, we are going to check it again. So this number will get various test case ID. Okay. If same functionality we are testing again, once again means, so same ID we are going to use it. Okay, right. So here our actual output. So redirect to home page. So I got a result like this. Now, so we comparing these two. So it's a pass. Okay. So mentioning with green color, and priority. So there is no priority because it got passed already. So there is no priority, and reviewed by same like a team leader or manager, and raised on. So there is no raise because there is no fail. So we are going to close it here itself. Okay. So this is the example for testing manually. So these are all the parameters. So sometimes we will use more number of parameters for detailed testing and all. So these are all the parameters we are going to use it for some basic level. Okay, right. Thank you. So that's all about test case. So how we are performing our manual testing. Thank you.